Okay, so welcome back. So let's say we have this scenario. We have a machine system, let's say in a manufacturing, and we've got the setup. So we've got these forces acting on this mechanical system here. And so we've got force going down at 20 units here, force of 40 units going down here. Then we've got these unknown forces, force A and B. So we got a vertical force and a horizontal force, A and B. And then we've got force T, which is the force of tension, I guess, on this link here. Okay, so we want to find those three forces, what those are. And let's say based on analysis of this system, they came up with these equations to relate the forces based on physics and what have you. Okay, so now we want to solve this, but the way it looks is not really conducive to solving it. I mean, you could, but let's set it up so it's going to be easier to see how to solve this, and then we can eliminate the variables. Okay, so first thing we need to do is multiply these to get whole numbers. So we can just be dealing with whole numbers. So if I multiply the top one by 5, we'll get 5a plus 300 equals 4t. This one's fine, the bottom one's fine. And then what about this one? If we multiply this one by, hold on a second. Yeah, that's right. So then if we multiply this by 5 too. Yeah. Then what are we going to get? We're going to get (5b) equals 3t. Right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite these so that it looks like the typical system of equations. So we're going to move all of the variables on one side. We're going to list them in, let's say, alphabetical order. The order really doesn't matter as long as all the variables line up in columns. And then we're going to put all the constants on the other side of the equal sign, on the right side of the equal sign. So this is going to be, let's write this as 4a plus, or 5a plus, minus, because we got to move it over to the other side. So that's going to become a minus. So we're going to say minus 4t equals minus 300. Okay. And then this one, b, is going to go here, so it's going to be 5b minus 3t equals 0, right? Because we don't have any constants. Okay? And now the last one we'll write as 8a. Let's write this one over a little bit more. Plus 6b minus 5t equals negative 80. Okay, so now this is what becomes our system of 3 equations with 3 unknowns. Okay, and so now the next step becomes, well, we have to eliminate one of the variables, or at least solve for one of the variables. Okay, and if we solve for one of the variables, then we just back substitute to solve for the others. So now if we notice here, we've got an equation with 2 unknowns here, we've got an equation of 2 unknowns here, and we've got an equation of 3 unknowns. So we can just eliminate one of the variables to get down to one of these two. Okay, since we've already got 2 equations that only has 2 unknowns. But they don't have the same unknowns, right? This is an A and a T, this is a B and a T. So we're going to have to use this one to eliminate, to get rid of one of these, okay? So we're going to use this one to, let's see, which one, what can we do? Now if we use these two and get rid of the B's, then we'll have another equation with A and T in it. Or we can use this one, get rid of the A, and then we'll have one with B and T in it. Okay? So that's one way. It doesn't matter which one you do. It really doesn't. So let's do these two. So I'm going to multiply so I need to eliminate the A, right? So to eliminate the A, I need the same numbers but with opposite signs. Okay, and then I'll add them, or if you have the same sign, then you just subtract them. Okay, but it's the same thing. So I'm going to multiply this one by 5. And I'm going to multiply this one by -8. And so if I rewrite these, what do I get? I get -40. Oh, hold on, let me do it this way. I get -40 A minus (32T) equals 2400. Okay? And here I get positive 48 plus 30B minus 25T equals a -400. And now I just add them down. So the A's go away. And what do I, excuse me, what do I end up with? Well, I end up with 30B. So make sure you add like terms. Don't accidentally add the wrong terms. So I get 30B. And then I get a minus 57T equals 2000. Oh, hold on a second here. Oh, this should be positive. I said positive. Okay. Let me double check. Negative, positive, positive. This is positive, positive, negative, negative. Okay. So this should be there we go. So that's what we get. Okay, so now we've got B and T, and we've got B and T here. So now we're going to put those together. So we have 5 B minus 3 T equals 0. And now what I'm going to do is, let's eliminate the B's. This is going to be the easier one to eliminate. So if I multiply this one by 6, if I just multiply the bottom one by negative 6, I'm going to get the same value but opposite signs. So I'm going to multiply this by negative 6. And so what do I get? I'm going to write this over here. Okay, so I get 30B plus 7T equals 2000. And I get here negative 30B, positive 18T equals 0. And so now if I add, these go away, and I get 25T equals 2000. And of course, if I divide both sides by 25, I get T equals 80. And of course, we have to have the units, which are newtons. And so T equals 80 newtons. Now we've got one of them. Now we can go ahead and back substitute. Okay? And so we can go back to any of the ones that have the T in there. So we could go back to 30B plus 7T equals 2000. Okay? Okay, or we can go back to any one of these. So we can go back, since we already have these solved, we've got one with 2 equations here, we've got one with 2 equations here. So we can go back, and now that we solve for T, we can go back to this equation, and we can go back to this equation and substitute and solve. So let's do that. So T is 80 newtons. So all we're going to do is use this one here, so 5A minus 4T equals negative 300. And we've got 5B minus 3T equals 0. And so all we have to do is substitute in for T, and T is 80. And so what do we get? This gives us 5a minus 320 equals 300. The bottom one gives us 5b minus 240 equals 0. Okay, and then if we add 320 to both sides, we get 5a equals well, if we add 320 to both sides, we just get plus 20, right? And then here, we get 5b at the bottom is equal to 240, right? And so up here, we get A will equal what? 4 newtons, right? Because all we have to do is divide by 5. And B equals 48 newtons. Oops. And of course we had T equals to 80 newtons. Okay, so we've got our 3 answers. So we found the forces for each one. Now, we're done. Now I could have gone back to the original equations too. I could have just went back to here, right, and solved and put in 80 here and solved for B directly. That's fine too. That's probably would have been the easier way to do it, is go back to the original and just plug in. We have B equals to 0.6t. Just plug in t here, 80, and take 0.6 times 80 and you have B. You could have done that. Or you could have plugged in t here, right, 80 here, and then solve for A using this equation too. I just use these equations, doesn't really matter, but you could go back to the original equations and use those. You get the exact same answer. Okay? That's it. Other than that, have a great day. I'll see you next time.